Command Point is sponsored by Crossfire Games. Use code CommandPoint25 at checkout to get 5% off your next purchase. Link in the description. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome into Command Point. Today we've got a little bit of a different video for you guys. Instead of talking about Kill Team, I'm going to be taking a look at the new Black Templars Warhammer community preview article for the Black Templars Codex that's going to be coming out in a couple weeks. The Black Templars are my main 40k army right now that I'm playing, so I feel like I have some things to say. Some people have been DMing me saying, hey, just read this Warhammer community article. Ryan, what do you think of these Black Templar changes? And I have some thoughts and some feelings, so let's go ahead and get into it. So first up here, the title, Black Templars, Forget Oaths of Moment, because who needs that, right? Swear a Templar vow today. So just for a little bit of context, Oath of Moment, all Space Marines have it right now. To our knowledge, Oath of Moment is an ability that is not going to be going away for any other Space Marine chapter, subfaction, whatever have you, army. So why are Black Templars the ones to lose it? We'll see. We'll see. These vows, in order to make up for that loss, these vows have to be good. Because you could already, with the index, you could already take the Righteous Crusaders detachment to unlock those 4 vows that you choose at the start of the game, and you would still have the benefit of Oath of Moment. So, I mean, these vows, they better be amazing. So, the Codex is going to have 3 new detachments, specifically for Black Templars, of course, and the vows are going to be replacing Oath of Moment. Each vow is a solemn do-or-die promise to perform in the eyes of the Emperor. Black Templars follow their chosen Templar vow with unshakable conviction, never keeping their eyes off the prize even as other Space Marines chop and change their Oath of Moment target from turn to turn. So these are the 4, I guess, updated vows. Like I said, they had vows before, plus Oath of Moment, but now you gotta pick, you gotta choose. If you're running Black Templars, or if you're running a army with a Black Templars character in it, you are losing Oath of Moment, full stop. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's get into these vows. First we have Abhor the Witch, Destroy the Witch. Each time this unit declares a charge, if 1 or more targets of that charge have the Psyker keyword, you can reroll the charge roll. Melee weapons equipped by models in this unit have the Precision ability while targeting Psyker units. Very niche case, obviously, if you're going into like Thousand Suns or Grey Knights who are also getting their new codex soon, that'll probably be your option. That'll probably be your choice. Next up, we have Accept Any Challenge, no matter the odds. Each time this unit makes a melee attack, if the strength characteristic of that attack is less than or equal to the toughness characteristic of the target, add 1 to the wound roll. That one seems pretty good, in all fairness. So the first thing I thought when I read this option was all the Sword Brethren have Strength 5 weapons, so this isn't really going to be useful into like T4 bodies, but, you know, into the Toughness 5 stuff, getting +1 to wound is going to be pretty good. Next is Suffer Not the Unclean to Live. This unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back, and each time a model in that unit makes a pile-in or consolidation move, it does not need to end that move closer to the closest enemy model, provided it ends that move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit. That one does not seem as just generically useful as Accept Any Challenge, no matter the odds. Next up we have Uphold the Honor of the... Actually, I don't want to just gloss over that. I feel like there probably is some tech with Suffer Not the Unclean to Live. If for whatever reason, like you're gonna, well, you know, this actually might be useful. What this allows you to do is you can multi-charge multiple units, but then you can pretty much all but guarantee getting all of your attacks into the enemy unit that you actually want to kill or actually want to take some wounds off, instead of, okay, when I go to do my pile-in move, I'm going to wind up splitting my attacks. Your opponent can kind of play around that, I feel like, and ultimately, I don't think it's as useful as Accept Any Challenge, no matter the odds, but it is, at the very least, interesting. Next, we have Uphold the Honor of the Emperor. If this unit has the Infantry keyword, At the end of your command phase, if this unit is within range of an objective marker you control, that objective marker remains under your control until your opponent's level of control over that objective marker is greater than yours at the end of a phase. If the mission you are playing features actions, this unit is eligible to start to perform an action in a turn in which it advanced. So this one seems like it's just generic good stuff to help you score points. It's giving any infantry keyworded unit in your army sticky objectives, which in my current list I think would be pretty helpful. Also, being able to advance and perform an action is, I think that's really good for your positional tac ops and stuff, or your positional secondary objectives. Black Templars are already an infantry heavy army, so I think that one can be really good depending on your matchup. But yeah, I think it's, out of all of these four, I think it's a toss up between accept any challenge no matter the odds and uphold. Accept any challenge no matter the odds is just gonna be that. I think you're safe taking that as your default. So those are the vows. In order to access the Templar vows, all you need to do is include units with the Templars faction keyword in your army, or pick one of the 3 detachments found in their Codex supplement. You'll have to abide by a few restrictions, no psychers, of course, because who's running Black Templars and taking psychers? And they're all laid out neatly in the new Heirs of Sigismund rule. So if an Adeptus Astartes unit has a faction keyword, has a second faction keyword on its data sheet, that faction keyword is the name of that unit's chapter. For example, High Marshal Helbrecht has both the Adeptus Astartes and Black Templars faction keywords and is therefore from the Black Templars chapter. Your army cannot include units from more than one chapter in your army. If your army includes one or more units from the Black Templars chapter, or you are using one of the detachments found on the following pages, Adeptus Astartes units from your army lose the Oath of Moment army rule, if they have it, and is replaced with the Templars Vows army rule. So every single Black Templars affiliated character, unit, whatever have you, baked into it does not have access to Oath of Moment. But you can, for whatever reason, still take some of the detachments from Codex Space Marines. You can't take the First Company Task Force detachment for whatever reason. I don't know if there's some sort of tech there with all of this stuff, but that seems like a weird call out, because I don't think anybody was taking the First Company Task Force detachment anyways, because that was arguably one of the worst ones, if not the worst one in that codex. Your army cannot include any Adeptus Astartes Psyker models, and your army cannot include the following data sheets, and it lists a bunch of generic options or just generic Space Marine vehicles, all of which in the index Black Templars already have an equivalent. The only difference between the two usually is, wow, you can't take a Land Raider Crusader? That's actually goofy. So we can take the Redeemer, but not the Crusader. Okay. But other Space Marine chapters have full access to the Crusader if they want to take it. I thought the exclusion of Sternguard veterans was also kind of weird here. I get that the Sword Brethren are supposed to be like the equivalent to Sternguard for Black Templars, and I get what they're doing. They're trying to differentiate Black Templars armies from the more Codex compliant chapters. I get it as a flavor win, but it's you're just taking stuff away, it feels like, with this new book. As in previous Codex supplements, several datasheets, such as the Gladiator tanks and Sternguard veterans, have their own Black Templars version with different rules and weapon options, so the originals can't be taken in these armies. Templars respect the rule of 3. Sternguard and Sword Brethren are 2 very different types of units, so I think that's kind of silly that the Sternguard aren't included in here, but it's not like I was taking them in my army anyways, so I don't really care. This new flexibility gives the Black Templars more ways to channel their zeal than simply hacking anything funny looking to pieces. Those who adopt the new Vindication Task Force detachment see it as their holy quest to reclaim and purify the God Emperor's rightful domain, and they're so dedicated to their mission that Crusader squads will actually give up the chance to get closer to their foes if it puts them nearer to an objective instead. So the detachment rule for the Vindication Task Force is Purge and Sanctify. Each time an attack targets an ancient unit from your army, if that unit is within range of one or more objective markers and the strength characteristic of that attack is greater than the toughness characteristic of that unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll. Hey, that's pretty good. Another reason to buy 3 of those new Black Templars Ancients coming out. And then each time a Crusader squad unit from your army makes a Righteous Zeal move, that unit can end that move as close as possible to the closest objective marker instead of as close as possible to the closest enemy unit. So they don't really talk about what a Righteous Zeal move is. I'm going to Control F and see if that shows up anywhere else in here. So it's probably safe to guess that a Righteous Zeal move is probably baked into the Crusader Squad datasheet. It's probably like just like any sort of like search move or surge move, where if you get shot, then you can move closer to the thing that shot you. But in this case, you're able to get closer to an objective marker. That's pretty neat. There are some movement tricks and shenanigans that I can see being chained off that. It's also a great way to take the new Crusade Ancient for a spin, obviously, as loads of the detachments, enhancements, and stratagems use units with the Ancient keyword as the linchpin of a impenetrable defensive strategy. Layer up their detachment rule with a consecrating aura to make a big bodyguard squad of 20 Crusaders extra difficult to shift, then keep refusal to yield on hand in case someone snipes the boss out from his squad. It's incredible value for just a single command point. So the enhancement consecrating aura models in the bearer's unit have a 5-up invulnerable save. Okay. I think stocks are going to be going up on Crusader squads. I'm thinking if I have to buy more right now or not. I think I already have like 40 or 60 Crusaders, so I don't know. Maybe I'll finally put them on the table for once this edition at least to try this out. We have refusal to yield, so any phase just after an ancient model from your army is destroyed. At the end of the phase, set your model back up on the battlefield as close as possible to where it was destroyed and not within engagement range of one or more enemy units, with its full wounds remaining. You cannot target the same model with this stratagem more than once per battle. This is hilarious for anything that's gonna, snipe you out with precision. Not that happens too often in my experience, but yeah, that's goofy. Anyways, let's move on here. This detachment pairs wonderfully with the Uphold the Honor of the Emperor Templar vow that gives all your infantry sticky objectives, supercharging your ability to take and hold ground with big, resilient Crusader squads. That's not to say you can't just pitch a horde of Screaming Templars into melee, though, and the Companions of Vehemence detachment gets you there with important rerolls for all of your charge and advance moves. So there's the second detachment, which they don't talk about, the Companions of Vehemence, gives you army-wide charge and rerolls to charge and advance. I mean, yeah, that seems sweet. I think what is it? I forget the name of whatever the Black Templar's new chaplain model is. They previewed in an article for him that units he's attached to get advance and charge. So go ahead and buy 3 of those guys, stick them in Sword Brethren squads, and then shove them up the board. Giving those units advance and charge on foot is something that I have wanted personally in this edition since the jump. Finally, the God Hammer Assault Force is for those who think that walking is too mundane for the Emperor's own angels and would rather hurl them up the battlefield in the safety of an armored transport. Many of its rules have a little extra oomph if the target hopped out of a transport that turn, and if that doesn't make you see endless squadrons of land raiders disgorging sword brethren when you close your eyes, you need to indulge your imagination. The current list that I run now includes a land raider redeemer, as well as 2 impulsors with sword brethren squads inside with attached characters. So I really would like to see a uh, an ability similar to assault ramp on the impulsors from that detachment, where you can advance with the transport up the board. The unit can dismount and then still charge. That would be nice if I'm just wish listing stuff here. It says you'll be able to get your own crusade going when Black Templars pre-orders go up on the Warhammer store this Saturday. That's it for the article. Like I was telling people, I do have to withhold. Uh, I'm withholding my final judgment until I have this actual codex in hand. But you know, we're losing Oath of Moment, and some of the vows don't look better than what we already have. So let me go ahead and I'm going to pull up those vows, and we're going to compare and contrast. So right now in the index, Suffer Not the Unclean to Live is melee weapons equipped by models in this unit have the lethal hits ability. It would be changing to the unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back, and then when it piles in or consolidates, it goes to the closest enemy unit. It doesn't have to go to the closest enemy model. Uphold the Honor of the Emperor. Models in this unit have the Feel No Pain 6-up ability and a leadership characteristic of 5-up. I ran this one forever, and I hate it. And I'm glad to see that there's not a vow of Feel No Pains, because I just hate rolling Feel No Pains. That adds like 30 minutes to a game. And it's a lot more useful now. So big ups, Uphold the Honor of the Emperor, Suffer Not the Unclean to Live. There were some combos with the lethal hits that you can get that were nice with Suffer the Unclean. Abhor the Witch, Destroy the Witch. Models in the unit have a 4-up invulnerable save against psychic attacks, and melee weapons equipped by models in this unit have the anti-psyker 4-up ability. Now it's just you can reroll charges, and you get precision against psychers. Having a 4-up invuln right now into like Thousand Suns, that feels really nice. Because all of their heavy lifting is done with psychic attacks. So that's a bit of a downgrade in my opinion. Accept any challenge no matter the odds. This is the vow that I'm currently taking the most. Melee weapons equipped by models in this unit have the sustained 1 hits ability, or sustained hits 1. And now it's each time the unit makes a melee attack, if the strength characteristic of the attack is less than or equal to the toughness characteristic, add 1 to the wound roll. So I think the new accept any challenge no matter the odds is going to be a lot more consistent, because you're not relying on 5s and 6s. Yeah, so I think overall the vows got better. Looking back at the detachments that they allude to, the Godhammer Assault Force specifically looks like it's transport oriented, and when models jump out of vehicles, they're going to get some buffs. Sounds very Renegade Raiders-esque to me, so would not be surprised to see some similar stratagems and rules for that detachment. Hopefully that's the case, because Renegade Raiders is doing pretty good right now. But yeah, guys, overall, just looking at this article, I would say that Black Templars are looking different. I would say they are looking more focused. They're definitely not similar to like your more generic Space Marine factions, but I'm not going to say that they're better. Losing Oath of Moment is huge. Like, I don't think that's an overstatement. Being able to just get full rerolls to hit against anything in your opponent's army, I mean, that's a huge buff. And not having anything really come in to replace that, it feels bad. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what the full rules are when that codex comes out. I'll probably be doing a full codex review, honestly, because I mean, I love Kill Team, but I love 40k as well, and these guys are my main army. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna withhold full final judgment for after I get a couple games with this new Black Templars army, so I can have like a real review for you guys. Yeah, and you know how it is with these Warhammer community articles. They're only showing you like snippets and like like screenshots. They're basically like pseudo leaking their own rules. So taking all of this out of context, basically, like they have done themselves, I can get why a lot of people would be doom posting. I'm not going to try and do that because, you know, I like to be optimistic on the internet, unlike a lot of people. So, but yeah, I'm excited. If they preview any more rules for the Black Templars Codex later on this week, expect another video to drop from me. I'll see you all in the next one.